What have you learned from your audience feedback? Well, throughout this whole project, as a group, we've stressed that we need to get as much audience feedback as possible because we're creating a product not for ourselves but for an audience. So at any given stage, when we try to make an idea, we've always tried to go and get some um, feedback, not just from other media students, but from a variety of people. On March 20th, this after we'd finished creating our first draft of the video, we had a creative arts evening at school, where we managed to showcast our video on to people not just from the school but from outside school. This helped us get feedback easier from a wider range of people on the night. From what we got from the night was that there was a shot that was missing. They didn't quite understand the narrative behind the video. Like people could not tell that Peter, the guy who's singing as Darren Merriweather, had passed with Lisa, the female person, but she was having a problem with her current relationship. People could tell that she's having problems with the current relationship because we kind of illustrated that well in our video, but people could not manage to realize that she had a past with Peter. The thought that she had just left thing for and then moved on to Peter at the end. Obviously, but there was one shot where people could tell where basically we have an over the shoulder shot of her looking at the picture of Peter. That's the only time that people could kind of understand a bit of it. So yeah, we went back. We took this advice. We went back to film. We had we had to look at stuff like that's been done to kind of establish their relationship. So we went back to look at videos from further variety from videos like Rihanna We Found Love, I think, and Ed Sheeran, I can't remember what the song is, but Ed Sheeran, the 18 video, where basically at the beginning of the video they kind of just have a sort of a long passage where there's nothing happening. Even in this video also they also have that sort of thing happening, but we didn't incorporate this because the copy of the song that we had got only started from the beginning of the song, so we didn't think to go back and kind of try to incorporate this. You can say we kind of tried to take a shortcut, which didn't quite work out in the end. But when we went back to film, we kind of we sorted out the problem that we had, the issue, and people were happy with it. Taking it back to earlier stages, when we were creating our ancillaries, when we started the whole project, we kind of wanted to see what people thought of different sort of text that we could use for our video. So we kind of asked just media students to kind of tell us like how to like what they thought the font that we were using, whether it would represent. We also tried to incorporate what Daniel Merriweather would use, like the fonts that he would use, the background, the imagery that he would use. We kind of wanted to keep on. We didn't want to subvert these conventions that he uses because it's already a brand. We wanted to kind of conform with these generic stuff. But at the same time, we would be able to subvert them if it was for the benefit. Like for example, personally, I subverted my ones because I kind of thought that his album stuff was not. It did not look very strong, so I kind of went along with an idea that I saw from Maverick Sabers. To help, and people were very happy with it. They were like, yeah, we would still recognize that Stanley Merriweather, obviously not from the picture but from like the way that everything was represented, the sort of old England, the plain background, etc., the clothing, etc. People kind of thought the general mise en scène was that of Daniel Merriweather. So again, from feedback, that's how I managed to implement this new idea that I had. Without this feedback, I would have tried to go on and emulate what Daniel Rose has been currently doing, which is what we did for our first drafts. And personally, I don't think the first drafts look very nice. Like, some of the photography that we had just lacked. Whether it's because that our photography was whack, or it was that we couldn't quite get the background that's suitable, I don't know. But I just personally didn't like it. And other people didn't like it as well. Like, when I asked my fellow peers, when I asked other people, our target audience, people didn't quite feel it, didn't quite like the way it looked, didn't like the way it was represented. So personally, I think it was a big plus that we managed to kind of find what we wanted in this. What other things have we done that got creating the posters as well? I kind of emulated the Maverick Savers thing again, because I thought that this was, personally, I still think this today, that's one of the best, if not the best. And from what people have told me as well, it's probably one of the few, it would range in that many people's top 10 as a good promotional package. So I kind of emulated this idea and I put it in. Sorry, I keep on moving on the camera. So I kind of emulated this and I put it in my own work. Yeah. Overall, the feedback that we have had has been we've implemented this into our own work and we've improved everything that we've done. It's kind of had a positive impact on our work, because without this feedback, we would have just left the video without people understanding what was happening. Overall, I've learned personally that I need to have feedback. Obviously, I knew this from last year when I did my AS production, but I need this even more this time, because last year I just kind of asked media students, what do you think? But this year, when I asked other people, they tell me like stuff like how they understand the way the thing looks, how they receive it, reception theory, like how they receive it, how they like it, what they think of it. Like, I was kind of able to work around this to be able to kind of create something suitable for them. And personally, everybody after the whole re-editing, whoever I've asked, they've had the sort of, oh, is it a love triangle? Is it this? Which it kind of is. It's still a love triangle. It's still her splitting up from one guy to going on to another guy, but it's all sort of like, it's the way that people interpret it. Who accept it, again, will receive it, but overall it's still sort of the love, the breaking up, she's going on to another guy. So it's good that we now understand that's what people thought of it. Some people thought that we had too much narration, but we found that this was a common aspect, common convention that's used in media texts, especially music videos. So we kept with that, and we're happy with what we had, and yeah, generally everything we did we're happy with, and people that we've asked have been happy with as well. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. This is the Tenor Shaniwa.